Just by looking at this Animation Magazine article, this picture really does tell it all. I did a community post on it, but Pixar staff is going to be reduced by 14% as Disney continues to cut costs. This is unfortunately confirmed. They were announced back in January and they're now expected to happen today. Approximately 14% of the workforce, 175 of its employees, which I really have to say is very sad. It's just very sad to see these people getting laid off. And the number of employees being let go today is less than the original 20% estimated by some of the news sources earlier this year. That's still not good to see those being laid off. But those layoffs really brought to these reductions due to production schedules. With Win or Lose, I do know that it has been delayed and it's slated to premiere later on this year, and the studio will no longer focus on streaming projects and will zero in on feature work. After suffering with setbacks with the release of Lightyear, which was a box office failure, and it led to many being laid off. And then the studio bounced back remarkably with last year's Oscar-nominated feature. Wait a minute. I think they did a mistake. It's not Lightyear, it's Elemental! Animation Magazine, you did a mistake. It's Elemental. Elemental was nominated for an Oscar and it went on over 500 million and it managed to break even. It started off weak, but it managed to break even later on. A little oopsie you did there, Animation Magazine. And Pixar had to skip theatrical releases for 3 of its big titles and send them directly to Disney Plus due to the whole thing. And then they got their limited releases, which Soul didn't do that well. Wait a minute. Coco didn't end up on theaters. It was Soul. It was Soul. Animation Magazine, you really need to fix this article. This might lead to so much misinformation and confusing things. It's Luca Soul and turning red, not Coco. And then Pixar is expected to have a solid summer thanks to the release of Inside Out 2, which opens on June 14th in theaters in the US. And the studio will be taking the movie to Annecy as well. Then there's Elio, which has been delayed from 2024 to 2025, and Toy Story 5 in 2026. Let's be honest, is Toy Story 5 even necessary? Because Toy Story 5 really, it's like it's only made for money. Toy Story 4 actually concluded the story. I mean, I know many don't like Toy Story 4, but honestly, I actually think it was a good conclusion for Woody. Even though a lot of people prefer the third one as the end of the series. Still, a 5th movie is so unnecessary, and this is the memo from Pixar President Jim Morrison to Pixar staff today. Hello everyone, I've spoken to you many times over the last year of our pending move away from series production for Disney+, the return of our focus on feature films and the rejection in our team that would accompany that. The day is here in that while it is not coming as a surprise to anyone, it is one of the hardest changes we've had to make, as it means we'll be parting with a number of talented and dedicated colleagues and friends. Today, leaders will begin the process of notifying employees whose positions are being impacted. Calendar invites to speak with a leader have already gone out to those individuals, and we anticipate we will have connected with everyone impacted by the end of the day. I want to assure you that we'll be providing extensive support as our colleagues start to transition out of the studio. We are committed to ensuring that our departure is handled with the utmost respect and care at every stage. This is important to me, and I understand how important this is to all of us in the Pixar community. I will host a brief studio meeting via Zoom this afternoon at 5 o'clock to talk more about today's announcements. Despite the challenges in our industry over the past few years, You will all constantly showed up to contribute, collaborate, innovate, lead, and do great work at the studio. I give you my deepest thanks, and for those who will be leaving us, I am hopeful that our paths will cross again, both professionally and personally. Jim. Wow, that is quite a speech that Jim Morris said. I honestly hope this doesn't lead to a demise to Pixar, because Pixar really brought a special history. Even though Elemental ended up as a surprising hit, it didn't become a huge success. It did break even. That was good. Even though 2023 was a rough year for Disney. I mean, especially what happened to Wish, as it did better on Disney Plus and not on theaters. So, anyway, guys, yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, are you quite sad about those being laid off and how it is dealing with all these situations? And I honestly hope that Elio does well next year in terms of original ideas, as Elemental does prove that breaking even can work, that it can do well with good marketing. Anyway, guys, this is Kawaii Life Antonio, signing off. Peace.